Okay, so here we go. Yet again, let's just try and improve some of the microphone quality here quickly. And let's bring the mic a bit closer. It might sound a little bit better, not so echoey. Unfortunately, all the other videos sounds like I'm in a bit of a tin can. However, the irony of it is I'm actually in a pine box. There we go. Hence Pine Box Productions, eh? All right, so let's start the screen sharing, and we'll kick off on which is going to be part 2 of transferring the license, the old legacy license to the new system. For those of you that don't remember where we left off, please go and have a look at video number 5, which is the transferring old license to new system, step 1. It was in this process where we, in actual fact, inserted the license number, the old legacy license number, without the dashes and the zeros and the hyphens at least. And then, of course, we had to wait, and it went into that process of, well, I can actually show you in progress, where it stipulates it's actually in progress. So we've now managed to get past that point. And as you can see, we are at a page where now says continue. And the other thing it says is customer application incomplete. So just before I go on, I just want to remind you of what the legacy license looks like. That's the one with the ICASA hologram on the top right. And of course, the old license number starting with 00547, in this case with the hyphens. I just want to point out that when I say old license number, take note of that format with the hyphens, etc., because I have a feeling that we might keep the same license number when we get our new license, our new system or new portal license, which doesn't have the zeros and hyphens in it, but it's actually got the QR code, and of course the entire license layout, etc., is very different to the previous one. And then, of course, you know, the purpose of license is also stipulated on the document itself. All right, so again, just to remind you, QR code, that there's the new license. No QR code, that's the old legacy license. So let's see where we're going to go to from here. We go back to our application process or manage RF licenses webpage. We're going to click on continue, and yeah, we will soon learn what it is that needs to, in actual fact, be completed. So as you can see, there are steps: step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4, leading through to the supporting documentation. Step 4 is one of the areas where I think a lot of the amateurs will be running into some problems, but we'll deal with that once we get there. So let's have a look at the general details. This is now also a carryover from the sort of previous page where the postal code has already been pre-populated, and the purpose of service is amateur radio communications. That's fine like that. You know, if you're on another commercial license that you're transferring and you want to do a different purpose of service, I suppose that's entirely up to you. I can't speak on behalf of ICASA, but personally, if I wanted to add something else, I would have put it there. But for amateur radio communication purposes, I think that there shall suffice. Again, just to remind you, if you click save, whatever changes you make to this page will be saved. You'll be able to come back to it and still have the information you've put in. If you exit, naturally, anything you've already made changes on will not be saved, and when you come back, you'll have to redo your work. If you cancel, your cancel actually cancels the entire process. So it removes it completely from the ICASA manage screen. And that application will not go through. I doubt that they will even see it on their side at all. So there'll be no further coming back to it, and you'll have to start the whole process again. So be careful that you don't click cancel to stop what you are doing, instead of using exit to stop what you are doing. So the submit button now will save all of this as well, and it'll move us on to the next step. So let's hit the submit button, and of course let us move on to the following step. Again, that infamous loading, we wait, we let it finish, and of course now I have to highlight this because, right, as I said, there you go, those silly beacons again off of Echolink, which I believe shouldn't be there. They're a real pain in the rear end, irritating, and a lot of amateurs don't want to sit on repeaters because they're hearing this garbage every 30 minutes. Okay, so what I wanted to point out, and I know every time that I've looked at this page and I've come to this page and I've helped others through this page and they've sent me screenshots of this page, then it's a case of, whoa, wait, the call sign region is incorrect. That one there. Please remember that Gauteng falls under northern provinces. Gauteng falls under northern provinces. Therefore, all, and I'll say that again, all ZS6 licenses fall under northern provinces. And again, this page has now been pre-populated. Sometimes I wonder if it's not the guys in the background that might be pulling the data through. Hopefully they're not sitting there and typing it in. If they are, it could account for the reason that it takes forever and a day to move through the various processes. However, if it is actually pulled through from anywhere else, that's fine. In this particular case, I think it's pulled through from the actual data that we had verified initially under our legal entity. So just double check it, make sure that it is correct. If it is correct, check the call sign again. If that call sign is incorrect, you do have the option here to go and assign the call sign. And if you do click on it, please remember it goes ZS6 with a space. So I'm just going to put Carl's in again. And as you can see down here, we got E, G. So F is not available. We can confirm that if we do go F, then there's no entries. Please just remember, wait for it. It says processing, and then it will list all of those call signs that are currently available. Okay, so in this case, I'm not going to assign it because of the fact that it is already assigned. I'm just saying that if in any event the incorrect call sign has been pulled through, then perhaps you can go and change it. And once again, we will go and have a look at submitting. Right, so let's hit that submit button, wait for the loading to complete. I must admit, the loading time frame has definitely been shortened to what I was accustomed to beforehand. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Here starts the controversial page. So I am just going to stop my recording for a minute or pause it, and then I will come back and explain exactly why controversial. Please stand by. All right, so continuing. Look, guys, these three fields are quite simple. They really don't require very much explanation. Upload your HAREC certificate. Okay, that means you need to have it. And remember, when you click on your choose files, it has to be a PDF document. If it is a TXT, JPEG, whatever the case might be, it won't accept it. Most radio amateurs received a HAREC. However, there are some who may not have received one. That's point one. Point number two, there are many that have probably mislaid it or even lost it, which means that, well, you could get one from the South African Radio League. And please remember that they require a 50 Rand payment to print it on a piece of paper, which in all honesty, you know, I'm not on an amateur radio station. This is a freedom of speech video, training video. Jetline printers will print a PDF on I think it was a 200-gram board or thereabouts for black and white, 3 Rand something odd. That was the official quote that I was given. Yet SAL wants you, the radio amateur, to pay 50 Rand to reproduce that certificate. The second one is this upload proof of setup. This requirement was introduced in the regulations, I think, in 2015. All radio amateurs prior to that did not need to prove that they could set up HF equipment in order to acquire their license. And they today are in possession of a license. From the 2015-2016 period, those amateurs that underwent RAE training will have had the HF prep, the HF exam, and of course the HF result document would have been sent to ICASA, whereby they would have issued your ZS or ZU license based on that. If you don't have it, you're more than welcome to go to the South African Radio League and pay 50 Rand. You know, if there's over 5,000 radio amateurs and all of you decided that you had to have this day and you paid SAL 50 Rand, that's $250,000 Rand that they will enjoy as a result of ICASA's introduction of the online portal, which is designed for you, the benefit of you, the radio amateur. But the South African Radio League wants you to pay 100 Rand. And for those of you that can't collect these certificates, well, then you'll have to fork out another 99 Rand. So pensioners, please take particular note. If you want to stick to the rules of the gods of that round table and have in your possession a HAREC and a proof of setup, in order to complete this, please budget now to lay out 200 Rand, and only when you've got it will you be able to proceed in order to upload it. However, I must point out, you will only get your documents delivered to you via Postnet in hard copy format. So while you are at Postnet, you might be, it might be in your best interest to ask them at a cost again to convert that to a PDF document. And if you haven't taken a flash drive with you for them to transfer it onto, they'll probably sell you, or will have to sell you, a flash drive, again at cost. So your 200 Rand to acquire a hard copy, to have transferred to PDF, well, I don't know what Postnet will charge you. You could be in total for 300 bucks across the board. I really don't know. But just be aware of that. But I think even more importantly is to have a look at a forum posting. And I am quite certain that Deewald, who has been given a lot of praise over many years on the forum, has made a statement in reply to an email. And here is the post. I'm going to remove that search, and I just want to annotate this section, and I want to leave it on screen. I want it to run. I want to give you guys an opportunity just to read what it says. All right, so what I was going to say is, Dear Vault, I do not believe would have responded to a fellow radio amateur along the lines of what has been stated in this document, in this posting, if he knew that it was going to create or generate any problem for him in his personal capacity as an employee of ICASA. And as Vincent Z6BTY points out here, he says, Dear Vault's response is that they, ICASA, have my details on record, and just to submit my 2020-2021 license, i.e. the legacy license, in place of the HAREC and HF assessment. So there it is. Let us work with what Dear Vault has said. If you think about this logically and from a legal perspective, your current or last issued radio amateur license is already proof that you are capable of adjusting and operating an HF transceiver. Therefore, what Dear Vault is saying is upload your license. So I'm just going to populate the field here. And of course I will be polite. All right, I know it might be a bit lengthy, but just in case, you must always remember you might get new chappies that come in there at some stage, or somebody might come in to assist with overload and overflows and backlogs and then they might think, well, hang on a second, there is no HAREC, but there is a comment. So there we go. The other thing I've noticed is that both of these fields do not have, so maybe this is just something that has happened on the development side. There's no red asterisk or asterisk, which means or denotes that these are not required fields. So I actually just want to try something for the purpose of this video at this stage, although I don't know. I'm going to stipulate, this is a difficult one. I'll try this somewhere else. For the purpose of this video, let us rather go and upload our files. All right, so I'm actually looking for Carl's license. There we go. And there we go. Remember what I said, please, must be in a PDF format. And then, of course, upload other. It's not required. Hopefully the other two, maybe it's been bypassed that we don't need to upload it as a legacy amendment. I'll test it. And we'll see what happens. Right, so again, we can either save at this point, we can exit, in which case, if we exit, whatever I've changed here will not be available when I come back, or I can cancel the entire legacy amendment process. But I ultimately want to end off with saying submit. And there's our infamous loading, and we wait. And so far, every time I've done the videos, there we go, just as I was about to do pause. So it came up with the submit application summary. There's our number, the application number. It's an amateur unrestricted legacy amend, and of course we submit that again. So I think that might have just confirmed or been put in place as a double check that that is what we are doing. And of course, once we have hit the submit button, it says that we can view the status of our application by managing the RF license, which is the identical of ICASA Online Manage Links. So let's have a look. And there we go. We are back in the in progress state, at which point we again need to sit and wait for ICASA to hand it back to us or to approve it and finalize it. So I'm going to stop the screen share at this stage and say to you guys, listen guys, be patient. That's all I can say, is be patient. Please remember that at the time of doing these videos, even though the South African Radio League does not want anybody doing anything until they've received official communication from ICASA, and that communication must go via the SAL, is total bull, because at the end of the day, ICASA's emails, renewal licenses, are inviting you as a radio amateur to please go and register on the online portal. They are asking that you go and do it before the 31st of May 2021. Nowhere in that email does it say, please wait for SAL to give you command or instruction, you know, via SAL HQ. No, guys. The purpose of doing these videos was to show you the process, so that you can decide for yourself as to which way to go, as to whether you do submit, register, verify, submit, request, or don't. That's your choice. Nobody can force you to do it, except, of course, ICASA. ICASA can, in actual fact, require you to do it. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with the South African Radio League. It's got nothing to do with any club chairman, club committee, club member, or any other radio amateur. It is your freedom of association and your freedom of choice only. And the purpose of this video, as I said in the very first video, please note the disclaimer. I do not do this on behalf of ICASA. I most definitely do not do it on behalf of the South African Radio League, which I personally do not acknowledge in any form or manner. They have got absolutely no authority over me in any sense of the word, but I've done it for the benefit of you, the radio amateur, countrywide, that you may see the process in action and decide for yourself. As at today, the 15th of March 2021, I'm led to believe that there are a couple of hundred radio amateurs who have already registered on the system, on the new online ICASA system. And, you know, when you've got others turning around and saying, but the system doesn't work, it's not true. So please share the videos, share the video link with your other amateur radio friends and community, even if you got to do it backdoor and, you know, without your club members knowing or your club committee knowing or anybody else. If that is the only way you can do it, go underground and do it. Get the message out. Because I can tell you now, Having gone through the renewal process, again, there is a video and an update to the renewal process. You'll see how actually just how easy your renewal will be moving forward. Yes, the same process will apply for the clubs. I know that many of the clubs are asking the question of, how do I go through the process? So if you are watching this video and you haven't watched everything in sequence, please go back and watch them in sequence, because I'm taking you through a step-by-step, and sometimes there is a need just to digress and shift the focus a little bit. So during the legal entity capturing process, I do make mention of, you as a club chairman or club secretary, how you would in actual fact do it as a club or on behalf of your club. All right, so here's the link, www.cert.net.za. Let me give it to you again, whiskey, dot Charlie Echo Romeo Tango. Guys, it's CERT, as you can see in the background. .net for networking. It's a network of community emergency response team members or volunteers. .za. www.cert.net.za. There's a videos link at the top of the page. Send everybody there, guys. Let them go and look. Give them the opportunity to decide for themselves. And then please go ahead, register, get up on the system. As I've said in a previous video, let's give ICASA hell now. Let's load them full. Let's put them under pressure with everybody. Let there be a wave of registrations. Oh, sorry, guys. You want it done by the 31st of May. You need a flood. So on that note, be safe, be prepared, and of course, be happy. Cheers all.